And then you went to Australia and slowly the cricket career started going. When did you think, you know, I've got a special talent to play cricket?
Well, cricket for me was fun. Tennis was my first sport. Tennis was the one that I wanted to exceed at.
Do you have a good backhand?
Not a bad backhand,
Yeah, okay.
slice backhand, one-handed.
No, you had a one-hander backhand.
Yeah.
Not that ugly boom two-hander.
No, I was like traditional, like classic, I thought.
No wonder your off-spin action was also like that, yeah.
But yeah, tennis was the sport that I wanted to excel at. You know, I had posters of Steffi Graf and Stefan Edberg and Ivan Lendl, all of that generation. And cricket was fun because it was a team sport, and tennis was an individual sport. It got to the point where I found tennis was really quite difficult, very political, a little bit nasty as well. Like one minute, you know, my doubles partner, we're mates, and then the next day I might be playing them in a tournament and they're my opposition. I found that quite hard, and so probably around the age of 13, 14, I thought, right, enough of tennis, let's put time and effort into cricket. Plus cricket, there's a easier road to the top than tennis. But yeah, that's probably the age where I started to sit down with my father, who was a sports psychologist as well, and started to kind of plan out and map out how I was going to achieve my goals.
You always thought of yourself as an Australian, didn't you? I mean, the fact that you grew up there, you've always been Aussie.
Yeah, I have. You can tell by the accent, certainly.
No, there's a reason I asked, because someone like Nasser, for example, when Nasser Hussain went to England, his father was very Chennai.
Yeah.
Grew up playing cricket in Chennai, and he had to actually say, I'm English.
Yeah, no, I think everyone recognised that I was true blue Aussie. But as I've gotten older, and as I've travelled a lot more to India, and like I said, there is a sense of belonging to this place. There is a comfort level. So I think as I get older, more and more of my roots might be coming back into me, and I'm asking a lot more questions about my father, about childhood or his childhood as well. I want to know more. I'm reading a lot about Indian history. I find it fascinating, and I love being part of the IPL. This is the perfect time. If you're a cricket mad, all cricket royalty is right in this country, and everyone else loves it, and it is an exciting time to be here.
Did you think you'd achieve what you did in cricket? I mean, I guess no one plans, no one dreams. You dream, but you don't actually think you're going to do as much as you did. Yeah,
I certainly dreamt, you know, that I wanted to play for my country. I dreamt also that I'd be a key player, that I wanted to be one of the first selected. Did I think I would ever have the career I did or win as many titles? No. But I was very fortunate enough to be part of a group of players, whether it be at New South Wales or the Australian team, where we didn't take anything for granted. We ensured that we worked extremely hard. I learnt off the best. Belinda Clark was my first captain. She was pretty ruthless. Her expectations on herself were really high, and the same went for her teammates. So the lessons I learnt from her, Catherine Fitzpatrick, Lisa Kitely, you know, legends of the game, I got my first opportunity to play with them. And hopefully, in a way, I've passed on the lessons that I've learnt during that time to the next generation. I was part of probably 3 generations within the Australian team. And when I left in 2013 and retired in Mumbai, which I thought was a perfect way to finish your career winning a World Cup in a country and a city that I find you know, means a lot to me. The next generation was coming through, and it was a perfect time. We were #1 in everything, and it was time to pass over the baton to the next generation.
Could almost have been out of a movie, isn't it? She comes back, she's an Aussie girl, comes back to Mumbai, wins a World Cup in Mumbai. It's almost like it was scripted. But the career itself, so many high points. Which are the ones you remember the most?
The most memorable ones were probably my first World Cup, 2005. I was fortunate enough to win 2 50 over World Cups and 2 T20 World Cups. But the first one in 2005 was pretty special. We were playing India in the final, so sorry, and we won.
She's still Aussie. Forget everything, she's Aussie. She's looking into a camera in India and saying, we won.
Yeah. But I had a great partnership with Karen Rolton. She scored a century that day, and it was an amazing experience to be out there and to play with the players that I just mentioned. All of those players was in that side, so that was their last World Cup, so that was extremely special. Probably my first my first and only Test 100 against England when we were in serious trouble. I had a great partnership with Alex Blackwell. And then probably the 2000, and probably the back end, because the back end of my career, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep playing. I'd had enough. I wasn't necessarily enjoying it.
Can anybody ever have enough of cricket?
Oh yeah, you
Especially
can.
when you've had the career that you've had. And
there's ups and downs.
yeah.
When you look
the
at
most difficult decision is to say I've had enough.
it is, and the most difficult decision is to know when is enough. I had seen a number of players in the men's game and the women's game that probably stayed around too long, and it really tarnished, people remembered the back end of their
Always
career
do.
instead of what they were able to achieve. So I was very honest with myself that I didn't want to be in the same position. I didn't want to get a tap on the shoulder to say, Lisa, maybe it's time that you go. Especially in Australia, that tends to be the way. Different cultures that have different ways of going about it. So I wanted to still be contributing in all facets. I didn't want to be, a bit of a liability in the field. So that's why 2013, so the back end, I had decided before that season that this last 6 months, which included a T20 World Cup and a 50 over World Cup, that I would call it a day.